The operation plan belonged to British Field Marshal B. Montgomery and was approved by Eisenhower. The Allies' intention was to bypass the Siegfried Line by advancing north towards Arnhem, capturing bridges over the Meuse, Waal, Lower Rhine, and turning into the industrial areas of Germany. The capture of the Dutch ports was meant to solve the supply problem. In total, the advancing mechanized units had to cover about 100 kilometers from the town of Neerpelt to Arnhem, crossing at least 9 water obstacles along the way. For convenience, the entire corridor was divided into 3 sectors, named after the large cities located in these sectors: Eindhoven, Nijmegen, and Arnhem. Each of them was assigned to one of the parachute divisions. The German side was gathering retreating units, bringing in reinforcements, and establishing defenses along the Rhine with the aim of preventing the Allies from entering German territory. In Operation Market, the paratroopers were to land on a narrow carpet strip in the southeastern part of the Netherlands in the area between Eindhoven and Arnhem. The drop zones were 60 to 90 kilometers away from the front line. The main objective was to capture the bridges over the rivers Damel, Aa, Meuse, the Wilhelmina Canal, the Meuse-Waal Canal, and then advance to the Rhine. The main forces of the 30th Corps were to advance on Eindhoven, Nijmegen, and Arnhem to connect with the landed troops. On September 17, 1344 Dakota transport aircraft, 491 assault gliders, with the corresponding number of tow planes, 1113 bombers, and 1240 fighters took off from various airfields to execute Operation Market Garden. The second wave, launching the following morning, included 1360 transports and 1203 gliders with tow planes. A total of 34,876 soldiers and officers were landed behind enemy lines, along with 568 artillery pieces, 1,926 units of vehicles. Throughout the operation, 5,227 tons of cargo were delivered to the positions of 3 airborne divisions. For the Germans, the appearance of Allied paratroopers in the sky was a real surprise. By 1500 hours, all airborne forces were grouped and began to carry out their tasks. The main forces of the British landed in an area over 10 kilometers away from their main objective, the bridge over the Rhine River at Arnhem. The time spent gathering troops and marching to the target deprived the English of the main advantage of the airborne operation, the element of surprise. Half an hour later, the British paratroopers encountered their first serious problems. The radio stations experienced inexplicable malfunctions, communication was lost with almost all units. On the way to Arnhem, the advance guard of the division, a reconnaissance squadron moving in jeeps, was ambushed. The advance of 2 other battalions was halted. Only the paratroopers of the 2nd Battalion, led by Lieutenant Colonel John Frost, managed to reach the main objective, the road bridge in Arnhem, and begin preparations for defense. At this key point, several 57mm anti-tank guns were immediately set up, covering the bridge and the approaches to it on the opposite bank of the Rhine.